Okay, I'm going to start with the pelvic clock. My heel of my hand is on my hip bones. My fingertips are on my pubic bone. I'm just going to rock back and forth. So I'm going to take an exhale, press the low back and down into the mat, feeling that my pubic bone is higher than my hip bones now. My inhale is going to push the pubic bone down into the mat and arching my lower back off the ground. And we're going to go back and forth. Exhale and inhale. And it's not a big movement. My legs are relaxed. And let's go ahead and exhale, trying to activate that pelvic floor as you press that low back down into the floor. And then inhale to release. And we'll go one more time. Exhale. And inhale to release. Then coming back into your neutral, we're going to go side to side with the hips. So I'm going to push down into my right hip bone. My left hand is always higher than my right, but my legs haven't moved. And then I'm going to come back to the middle and I'll push down on my left hand. Now my right hip is higher. I'm going to go side to side like that, back and forth. Being mindful that the movement's coming from the pelvis and not the rib cage. So the rib cage should be still. Again, it's a very small movement. Now we're going to come into the middle and go around the circle. So I'm going to press my low back into the mat. Then I'm going to draw my left hip down into the floor. Then my pubic bone pushes towards the floor. And then my right hip towards the floor. And then I'm just going to go around in that circle. Trying to keep my legs relaxed and still. And using my abdominals, my lower back to move my pelvis. And then pause once you reach your middle and reverse. One more time. Good, and then we're going to settle into our neutral spine. Good, arms down by your side, heels in line with the sit bones. Now without moving my pelvis, I'm going to bring my right leg into tabletop. And then if I can, your left leg into tabletop. Watch that the ribs don't arch off the mat. So now our upper abdominals are working. We're going to go into our toe taps. The legs stay at a 90-degree angle. You're going to exhale to tap the toe down. Inhale to bring it back. We'll alternate legs. And the goal here isn't to touch the mat. The goal is to keep your pelvis stable. So if that means you can only move an inch, then that's as far as you move. We always want to focus on quality of movement over range or distance or quantity. Good, now I'm going to squeeze my legs together and go both legs down. Exhale. And inhale up. Remember, you don't have to touch the mat. You want to feel the work in your abdominals. Maybe a little bit of work in the lower back because we are using those muscles, but you don't want to feel strain or stress in the lower back. So if you are, go smaller range or go back to a single leg. Let's do 3 more. Set my feet down onto the ground, heels in line with the sit bones. I'm going to take it into our hundreds breathing here. So my arms are going to float up to the ceiling. I'm going to start by keeping my feet down on the mat, taking a nice inhale. Exhale, press the hips towards your hips, curl high onto the shoulder blades, and we pump those arms. Inhale. and come down and rest. So that was just part of the way through the hundreds. What we're gonna add on, this time my right leg's gonna come to tabletop. Nice big inhale. My exhale brings me up, and then I pump those arms in. And I come down, lowering the leg, and we'll go other side. Nice big inhale. Exhale to curl forward, and pump the arms. And lower down. One more time. This time we're going to bring the legs both into tabletop. If your neck is getting tired, you can always keep the head down. So I'm going to bring my right leg up and then my left leg up. Find my neutral pelvis. Nice big inhale. Exhale to curl forward, and we pump those arms. Inhale 2. One more breath. And come on down, hugging those knees into your chest. Good. And I'm going to set my feet back down onto the ground. I'm going to walk my feet all the way together, taking my arms out to the side. I'm going to go into a twist, trying to bring awareness to our obliques here. I'm going to inhale, send both legs over to the right, only as far as I can go without lifting my shoulders. And my exhale is going to bring me back to center. Inhale over to the left. My knees stay glued together, so one foot comes off the ground as I rock onto my left hip, and exhale back to center. Now you can keep doing that with the feet down, or to progress, you could bring the legs to tabletop, squeezing those knees together. Keep them together as you inhale, going over, and then exhale to pull back to center with those obliques. And inhale, over, and exhale, back to center. 2 more, inhale, exhale, and inhale, and exhale, and then hug those knees in, take a rest, and set the feet down onto the ground. So that was us twisting from your lower body. Now we're going to do our twist from our upper body. So I'm going to bring my hands back behind my head to support my neck. I'm not pulling on my neck, but my head is just heavy into my hands. The movement's really coming from my upper abdominals. So I'm going to take an inhale. On my exhale, I drop my ribs to lift my head. Then I'm going to inhale, rotate my rib cage to the right. My hips have not moved. And then exhale, I come back to center and lower down. And exhale, I curl forward from my ribs. I inhale, twist to the left. Exhale, back to center. And down. And we'll repeat twice more each side. Exhale. One more set. And lower down. I'm going to take my arms down to the side. I'm going to take it into a pelvic curl. So I take an inhale, exhale, press my lower back into the mat. Then I slowly start to peel my hips up off the mat, one bone at a time. And then I roll back down, lengthening through my back. Inhale, exhale. Reach the knees over the toes. Make sure you're lifting from your hips and not your ribs. And I roll it down. We'll go one more time. And roll. onto my side. My right arm is extended down onto the mat, palm facing up. My left hand is like a kickstand in front of my chest. So I'm using it for balance, but I'm not relying on it. And then I have both legs squeezing together. Right now my bottom waist is lifted off of the mat. I'm going to take an inhale. And then on my exhale, I'm going to lift both feet off the ground. So trying not to fully collapse into that bottom rib cage, and then lower down. And exhale, lift. So I'm really thinking of reaching out and then up. So the work is on the top side of the body here. If you feel like you can balance. Watching that you're not really arching through the ribs or the back. You want to feel the work through the obliques and not in the lower back. 2 more. We're going to hold those legs up. The bottom leg is going to lower down and up, down and up. 3, 4. So my bottom arm is extended, palm facing the ceiling. My right hand is a kickstand in front of my chest. Both toes reach out, and then we lift up and down, thinking of lifting from my waist here. And then balancing if you can. Holding the legs up, bottom leg lowers and lifts. And good, go ahead and come on to all fours into our quadruped position here. So your hands are underneath the shoulders and your knees are about sit bone distance apart, and I'm in a neutral back here. I'm going to take my right leg and glide it back behind me. Then I'm going to lift it off the ground, not shifting into my left hip. And then I lower it down and slide it back in, then switching sides. Left leg reaches back. Don't let your hips shift as you lift the leg. Lower and slide it in. And again, right leg reaches back. Lift it up. So that supporting inner thigh has to work really hard so that you don't just sit and shift the pelvis to get that leg to lift. Let's do 2 more each side. Right leg reaches, left, down, and in. Left leg reaches, left, down. Good, this is our last set. Reach, and check in with that upper body. Making sure there's no movement through the spine. Good, take a quick child's pose to rest those wrists. And then we're gonna add our opposite arm reach. Coming back into that quadruped position. Nice and neutral back, shoulders are strong. Let's take that right leg back and reach the left arm forward. Here's where it gets tricky. Don't let your body shift. Just try and lift the arm and leg up, and then we'll just tap the finger and the toe. And then we'll lift again. Inhale and exhale. Think of energy out of the toe, out of the fingers. Inhale as you lift up. Exhale, pull the belly button in as you lower. 2 more. Good, let's switch sides. The left leg shifts back, the right arm comes forward, and we inhale and exhale. And inhale. And inhale. Two more. Very nice. And go ahead and come back into that child's pose. Good. And then adding on, we're going to add some more movement here. So we're going to the helicopter. So again, nice neutral back. Slide that right leg back. Reach the left arm towards the front of the mat. You lift it up. Doesn't need to be high, but making sure you're centered between that right arm and left leg. Then the arm that is up and the leg that's up, you're going to glide side. And then come back to center. Let's do that 2 more times. Glide side. Don't let your pelvis rotate. So it's a small movement. 1 more. Lots of work though. And then bring it in. Other side. Reaching and lift. Then the arm and the leg glide in opposite directions. And back to center. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more time. Inhale. And exhale. And bring it in. Let's repeat that 1 more time. Right leg back, left arm forward. Inhale to lift. Whoop, don't fall over. Inhale, side. Exhale, center for 3. And 2. And in. Last side. Right arm forward, left leg back. Inhale to lift. Glide the arm and leg side. Exhale, center. And good, go ahead and press back into a child's pose. Good, let's go ahead and take it into our plank support. I'm going to stay on my knees here. So you're going to shift your body weight forward, walking your hands out so that the shoulders are right over the wrists. My hips are pressing forward, my glutes are squeezing, my core is strong. We're just going to hold this here for about 30 seconds. Breathe. If you need to, you can always come down onto your elbows or rest when you need to. Good, you're about halfway there. Squeeze the glutes, draw those abs in, push the floor away. Good, 5 more seconds. And good, press back into that child's pose. And stretch.